Hey guys, this is Mr. C, and in this video we're going to take a look at some two-step equations. Two-step equations, obviously the name implies that you have two steps that are going on. Two steps and then done. So again, our goal here is to get the x by itself, and it is not. You've got a 2 in front of it with multiplication, and behind that you have a -3. We're going to ignore the 15 over here for now because that's going to kind of shake out to be our answer when we get done. And so when you have 2x minus 3 is equal to 15, you always, for a linear equation, you always want to get rid of the constant first if it has a constant. And so our constant is -3. So here's our river. We're going to add 3 to both sides, the opposite operation. Additive inverses cancel. I'm going to bring my 2x down. Equals 15 plus 3 is 18. And after that first step, you're going to be down, usually going to be down to a 1 step. Your 1-step equation now, 2 times x, so you can divide, opposite operation, multiplicative inverses, cancel out, and x is equal to 9. Let's check. 9 times 2, 18, take away 3, 15. Got it. We're going to do the same thing every time here, except some of these may look a little different. Basically, we're going to do the same thing. All right, so we're going to draw a river. 5z plus 3, subtract 3, subtract 3. Additive inverses cancel. Bring down our 5z. I always draw my z's with a little line through it so it doesn't look like a 2. 27 take away 3 is 24, right? And so 24, and then you got 5 there. And so we need to divide by 5, like that. Those cancel. And so now you bring down your z is equal to 24 over 5. And you just leave it like that. You don't have to, put it in a calculator or do a decimal or anything like that, or no mixed numbers. In Algebra 1, we don't like mixed numbers unless we have to. We just leave it as 24 over 5. That's improper, not a problem. All right, this one, let's see what we got here. Here's a river. Got to get rid of the -13 first. So plus 13. And you'll notice I sometimes refer to minus subtraction as negative. Same thing. Cancel. I'm going to bring down my -4w equals, and whatever this is, 7 plus 13 is 20. Okay, so now I'm down to a 1 step. Divide by -4. Both sides, cancel, and w is equal to -5. Pretty easy. All right, this one, I've got this 12 sitting in front. These two are kind of switched, aren't they? But that's okay to switch them. You can switch them if you want to. You just have to know that you have to get rid of the constant first. -12, -12. Those cancel. I'm going to bring down my 2y, and it is positive. 8 take away 12 should be -4. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Cancel. And y is equal to -2. And that's it for that. All right, this one, I'm going to take the 14 and get rid of it, right? Not the -9, not the -40, this guy. Need to get rid of that 14 first. So -14, -14. So cancel those out. I'm going to bring down my -9k equals, now a -40 minus 14. So if I owe somebody $40, then I owe them 14 more. I owe them actually $54, right? So that's a -54. Now I'm going to divide by -9. And k is going to be equal to, now what happens if you have negative over negative like this? Well, we know what happens if they're side by side, it makes a positive. But if they're above each other like this, it still makes a positive. So the negatives cancel out, and I have 54 divided by 9. Now, here's the question, does 9 go into 54? 9 times 5 is 45, 9 times 6 is 54, so all of that should be 6. All right, so we got some fractions going on. We have to know how to handle those. This one, again, get rid of the constant first. Don't let the fraction bother you. Started out nicely. Subtract 5 on both sides, gone. Bring down my 1/2 a is equal to 8 take away 5 is 3. Now what do? I need to get rid of that 1/2. And how have I taught you to do that? Multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2. The reason why is because 2 times 1/2 is 1. So now, 2 times 1/2 is 1. They cancel out. Bring down my a. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 is my final answer. So how do I know it's 6? Half of 6, because a is 6, right? We know a is 6 now. Half of 6 is 3, and 3 plus 5 is 8. So it's a solution. All right, this one, again, it has a fraction, so we're going to ignore that for the time being. We're going to add 10 to both sides. Let's get in the habit of doing that. Cancel those guys out. Bring down my k over 3 is equal to negative 21 and 10 make negative 11. So let me stop here and show you something. K over 3 is really the same thing as 1/3 times k on the side. Same thing. This k on the side is assumed to be in the numerator. K times 1 is k, and the 3 down here. So when you see a fraction to the side, just remember, it's the same thing as this or this, however you want to write it. Now, since I started off with this, I'm going to keep it like that. So now, how do I get rid of that 3 on both sides? Well, that's being divided by 3. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of it. And when I get rid of it, those are multiplicative inverses. They cancel. So k is equal to negative 33. And that's my final solution. My final answer. All right, this one, we have another one here, and now we have 2 fractions. So let's see how this one's going to work. River, add 3, add 3. Okay, so these cancel. And now we need 1/3 plus 3. So over here, my scratch work, I'm going to do 1/3 plus 3 over 1. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 fractions and rename them if we need to. Common denominator of 1 and 3 is 3. Well, I've already got the 3 here, so I just drop the 1 down. 1/3 doesn't change, but this one does. 1 times 3 is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is going to be 10. Okay, so now we're back over here. Bring down my negative 2/3 d equals, and now I figured out what this is, 10/3. All right, hopefully the next step is going to be as hard. How do I get rid of the negative 2/3 in front of the d? Well, we've already done this. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal, negative 3/2. Negative 3/2. All right, so here we go. We have now created multiplicative inverses. They always cancel and make 1. That's a property. D comes down by itself now. And now we just have to calculate this. Let's do this the easy way. These 2 3's are going to cancel out completely because 3 divided by 3 is 1. 10 and 2 goes into both these. 2 goes into 10 5 times. It goes into itself 1 time. So now D is going to be equal to 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. It's still negative, can't forget that. But remember, negative 5 over 1 is just negative 5. So that's it for that. All right, let's deal with this one. This one is the same one as the previous one, isn't it? I'm gonna show you a different method for this. Here's the method number 2. This is the method I always use. You see this equation right here, and you see these 2 3's that are bothering you. Let's get rid of those 3's. There is a way to get rid of them. The way you get rid of these 3's is you use a method called clearing out fractions. Clearing out fractions. And here's that method. It's really easy. You take your common denominator, which is nice, they're both 3, and you multiply everything up here by 3. If you multiply everything by 3, it's going to get rid of those denominators. So here we go. Watch this. All right, so we got 3 times negative 2/3 d minus, okay, we even have to multiply by that. 3 times that 3 right here, okay, equals, I'll put it right on a room, 3 times, oh, I'm just gonna have enough, 1/3. And I like to use parentheses so I don't mess up. All right, so how's that gonna work? Really, what I should have done here is I should have written that one in blue because that was the previous. Let me do that. Okay. 3 times 2/3. That 3 and that 3 cancel, and I bring down my negative 2d. Minus 3 times 3 is 9, equals, and now 3 times 1/3, they both cancel out and make 1. I'm now going to have this 2-step equation here. It's still a 2-step equation. It was at the beginning. But this equation and this one should have the same solution. I just cleared out the fractions. They're gone. Add 9. Bring down my negative 2d equals 10. Divide by negative 2. And d is equal to negative 5. Just like it was before. And it's your choice. If you like to do, if you prefer this way, you just have to practice it a little bit. It works a lot better. Unless you want to do it this way, it's completely up to you. But that way looks like a lot more work. This way, this method gets rid of the fractions easily, nicely, and elegantly. And we can just get our answer without having to worry about them. So this one we're going to do both ways, just so you kind of get some practice. All right, so here's our river. We're going to subtract 3, subtract 3. Bring down my 4/3 m equals. See, but now I got to calculate this. So 5/3 take away 3 over 1. Okay, common denominator is 3. Okay, that 5 stays because 5/3 didn't change. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And so 3 over 1 is the same thing as 9/3. 5 take away 9 is negative 4. And so 4/3 m is equal to negative 4/3. All right, so now I have to either divide or I have to use the reciprocal. I prefer to use the reciprocal. And the reciprocal of 4/3, not this one, but this one, the reciprocal of 4/3 is 3/4. So I'm gonna multiply both sides by 3/4. All right, when I multiply both sides by 3/4, multiplicative inverses cancel, bring down my m. All right, so let's look at this. These two 4s are gonna cancel and these two 3s are gonna cancel. These are almost multiplicative inverses except you have a negative there. So what happens is these two fractions cancel, they make 1, but the negative is still there. And so it's really gonna be negative 1. So now we're gonna work this one the other way and hopefully we'll get negative 1 when we get done. So let's see if we do. All right, let's clear out fractions. So we have a 3 and a 3, so we're gonna multiply everything up here by 3. So here we go. 3 times 4/3 m plus 3 times 3. And I like to put parentheses around that so it's not kind of hanging at the back, that single number, equals 3 times 5/3. All right, so these two 3's cancel, multiplicative inverses, bring down my 4m, plus 3 times 3 is 9, equals, these two 3's cancel, and I bring down my 5. Subtract 9, bring down my 4m. You always bring stuff down that nothing happened to it, you just bring it down. 5 take away 9 is negative 4, divide by 4, and m is equal to negative 4 divided by 4 is negative 1 again, so that's good. All right, so here's I believe the last one here, and this one has a lot more fractions to it. Let's go ahead and solve this one using, we're just gonna clear out fractions this time. our common denominator, 12, 3, and 2 would be 12. 2 goes into 12, 3 goes into 12. So 12 is our least common denominator. So we're going to multiply everything by 12. Minus 12 times 5/3. I don't like fractions any more than you guys, so I try anything I can to get rid of them because they just take up time. All right, let's do it this way. 12 divided by 2, what's that? 12 divided by 2 is 6, times 3 is 18. Oh yeah, we're doing it the other way too. 12 times 3 is 36, divided by 2, still 18. So all of this becomes 18x. The 2 and the 12 cancel out. Minus, okay, 12 times 5 is 60, divided by 3 is 20. Or you could do 12 divided by 3 is 4, times 5 is 20. So what really happened was the 3 became a 1, divided by 3, divided by 3, 5 times 4 is 20, equals. This 12 and that 12 completely cancel, and you just bring down the 7. All right, so we're now going to add 20 to both sides. Cancel. We got 18x is equal to 27. So now we're going to divide by 18. And we get x is equal to 27 over 18. So can you think of a number that goes into 27 and 18 at the same time? Well, 3 would. And the reason why 3 would is because 7 plus 2 is 9. That's a multiple of 3. And 8 plus 1 is 9. It's a multiple of 3. But here's the cool thing. 7 plus 2 is 9, and that means that 9 goes into it. 8 plus 1 is 9. That's a multiple of 9. That means 9 goes into it. So those are our divisibility rules from middle school. So we're going to divide by 9 both times. 27 divided by 9 is 3, and 18 divided by 9 is 2, and so x equals 3/2 is our final answer. All right, guys, that about does it for two-step equations. Remember to like my video and subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.